Hello, welcome back to my channel. I never thought I was going to ever make this video, and it is 14 years in the making, but today we are going to be talking about how I found the root cause of my acne, how I'm healing myself from the inside out, all things Parasite cleanse, and everything in between. I wanted my skin to be bare so you can really see how well it's doing. I don't have any face makeup on. That is incredible. And tomorrow, this would make it officially 2 months into my healing journey, and I will be done with the first phase of my journey, which is the Parasite cleanse. Crazy, crazy. Before we get into it, little disclaimer, I'm not a doctor or medical expert, and this is not medical advice. I'm simply sharing my journey, so please do your own research. But my goal for this video is to hopefully make this unconventional path a little bit less confusing, and I also hope that this video can give you some hope back into your life if you are out of options and you are still struggling. If you see me reading from my laptop during this video, it's because I've been working on a whole bunch of notes for a long time. So this video is going to be in a few parts. First, we're going to go through my entire acne journey, and then all things Parasite cleanse, and then pricing and the process, and then any extra questions you guys have asked along the way, and there might be a giveaway that you don't want to miss. We begin 14 years ago when I started getting acne. I was 14 years old and I started getting it right around my first period. I started the normal route, which was to go to the dermatologist, and there were not many options at that time, so I went through all of them pretty quickly, and the last step was to go on Accutane. So when I turned 15, I decided to go on Accutane, and with Accutane, you have to go on birth control. Not sure if you're familiar with Accutane, but they're very, very strict about this, and making sure you don't get pregnant, because if you do, your baby will have severe birth defects. It is scary. So that was just what you did. You went on birth control, and yeah, I just stayed on it for 10 years. And just for a visual, the whole time I was on birth control from age 14 to 24, I only had acne on my forehead and on my body. I had never once had a breakout on the lower half of my face until now. Well, not anymore. So I did my first round of Accutane. I want to say it was 6 months long, 5 or 6 months. I actually stopped early because it wasn't making me depressed, but I definitely was not acting myself, so we did stop a month early. But my skin was so clear. It was porcelain. It was beautiful. Luckily, my back acne actually didn't come back until this year, but my face only stayed clear for a year. So I kind of just dealt with it for the rest of high school, and then I get into my freshman year of college, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to deal with this anymore. Let's go back on Accutane, because that is the only option. And you want to guess how that went? It didn't work at all. I think we were on a pretty high dose too. Not a thing. Did nothing. Lucky me. Only me. So once, I believe I was maybe sophomore or junior year, since I was such a regular at the dermatologist, they had just started rolling out spironolactone for acne, and I was actually one of the first people to be prescribed Spiro for acne, which I think is really, really cool. I ended up being on it for 5 years because it was the only thing that kind of took the edge off. But then, it worked until it didn't. I had to keep upping the dose, but as the dose kept rising, it would make me feel horrible and I would tend to pass out. And then it eventually stopped working. And at this point, I'm just like, I am so sick of taking so many pills. During all of these years, my skin would always go through waves. I would have points where my skin looked really nice, and then other points my skin would look absolutely horrendous, and I always found that odd because it never made sense. I would try to track it, and I was like, oh, maybe it was bad only during my period, but no, it was always at random times, and I always found that very, very odd. And along with this, throughout the years as well, I was also doing countless rounds of antibiotics, topicals, literally everything the dermatologist could give you, I was on. And I've kind of just learned how to deal with it. I learned how to cover it really well. I unfortunately I wouldn't say I missed out on that much in college, but I definitely said no to a lot of things because of how insecure I was about my skin, which kind of sucks, but I'm a homebody, so that's my justification. So again, just riding the waves, dealing with it, and the end of 2021, I think I'm 24 here, I decided to get off my birth control. I was just kind of at the point where I'm like, my body doesn't know any different. I'd got my first period where, you know, your hormones are changing, and I immediately went on a hormonal birth control. I don't know how my body or my skin is going to react. And maybe it's gonna hurt my chances of getting pregnant later. You know, it was that time where everyone was starting to get off the birth control. I never really had an issue on birth control, actually ever, until maybe like the last 2 years I was on it. I was having trouble with gluten and I was getting anxiety, which I had never had issues with that before. I realized it was those two things because right after I got off, both of those issues disappeared. So I'm like, that was really random and really odd. But I'm glad I went off of it. Very glad I went off of it, and I will not be going back on. So when I went off, I was like, oh my God, like I was preparing for the worst, but honestly, my skin was really, really clear for a good 8 months. Like I was living my best life. And then August 2022, bam, it was like the floodgates opened and my skin just went absolutely wild, and I started getting acne on the lower half, and it hasn't slowed down since until now. Of course, I tried a few more antibiotics, topicals. Dermatologist said, go back on birth control, go on Accutane for a third time, or you're out of luck. And I was like, bye. So now I'm on my own, and I'm like, okay, what else can I do? So in 2023, I started looking into acne safe products, antibacterial things, K-beauty, food sensitivities, and it helped. It took the edge off, which was great. I was also taking the Clear Stem Mind Skin Body Supplement. I took that for about 6 or 7 months, and it was fabulous. It really, really, really helped me, and then it randomly stopped working. Are we surprised? Love that though. Definitely recommend looking into that. And again, as I've said, my skin just kept going through waves, and I just rode those waves and just dealt with it. But I'm really happy because when I got engaged in summer of 2023, my skin was beautiful. Thank God. Thank God. So now we're in 2024, a year ago now. I was so fed up. I'm like, why do I still have acne? I am doing everything right. Like, is there something wrong with my head? And it now wasn't only just acne. I was starting to get really bad fatigue, inflammation, hair thinning, brain fog, and my face and my back acne was getting so painful and so horrible. And I'm just like, I'm literally 27 years old. There has to be something going on. So I started investigating how to maybe get some testing done. And this is a very foreign concept to me because never once has my derm, GP, or gyno ever mentioned any type of testing. And when I had inquired about getting my hormones tested, I was denied. I was told that I am healthy and that I don't need to get it done. And I'm like, okay. So I started looking into a naturopath, Chinese medicine, functional doctor, and I believe it was the functional doctor I looked into near me. They quoted me $8,000 to walk through the door. Now that's not going to be the same price for every functional doctor. I was just like, I just want to get some testing done. Like, why is it so hard? Then I started looking at online companies, and then I stumbled upon a women's telehealth company and ended up doing my comprehensive and hormone testing through there, and I'll talk about that later. I get my testing done, I meet with someone, we go over the results, and everything's pretty normal for the most part, which I was expecting. I knew this wasn't a hormone issue because I've never had period issues, never had any symptoms. Like, that has never been an issue. So I wasn't surprised that everything pretty much came back normal. But it's really good to get that done because how else are you supposed to know what's going on the inside? And it's really interesting. If anything, I definitely recommend getting some type of comprehensive testing done. So from here, I'm like, okay, cool. We can check off hormones. Even though I learned that a hormonal issue isn't a root cause. It's a symptom to a root cause. So from here, I'm like, okay, cool. I reached out to Clear Stem because, I work with them, and they actually offer a functional acne lab. So I'm like, cool. Heck yeah, this is gonna be it. This is really focused on acne, like all those biomarkers, like this is it. And this was great, but I do wish I would have been able to talk to someone because they give you a PDF with all this information and it's almost too much information that it's confusing and almost that it wasn't helpful. They also explained like 4 or 5 root causes and I'm like, oh my god, I'm confused. This whole time, my goal is to find specifically what is wrong. You can't say your root cause is gut health because that's so complex. You have to know exactly what it is within gut health is your root cause. Okay, so with the Clear Stem lab, it was saying things like infection, inflammation, hormones, blah, blah, blah. But I needed more. Seeing infection, though, kind of lit a light bulb in my brain. So I'm like, okay, even though I'm confused and something is going on, maybe it's my gut. But at this point, I'm still really ignorant about gut health. I always assumed I had good gut health because I've never had an issue going to the bathroom and my stomach is flat. That sounds so ignorant thinking about it now, but that literally doesn't mean anything. I decided to find like a gut health test online. It was like the first one that came up on Google and it was a stool test. Again, it didn't tell me specifics, but it did say that my gut health was really, really bad. So I'm like, okay, it's my gut, but I don't know, like, what do I do? Like, I don't know what to do. Then in July, October, my fairy godmother flew into my DMs and her name is Sisley. She sends me a message saying, hey girl, I would love to, help you out, look at all your testing and like see what's going on. I had lost all hope at that point. I was so close to not responding to her because I was like, how is a nutritionist going to help me? But I'm like, you know what? Let me just try. So we met and this is where the journey began. I sent her all of my past labs and within a couple minutes, she had an inkling that it was my gut. And of course I was happy to hear that. But what I was more happy about was that she actually listened to me and validated how I felt. And everything made sense because I was seriously going a little bit crazy. So from here, she said, let's order you a GI map. We love the GI map. What a traumatizing experience, but I would do it again in a heartbeat. I really would. A GI map is a stool test. You get a bowl, you do your business in the bowl, you have to scoop it out, put it in a vial, and you have to ship it. You gotta take it to FedEx and you ship it out. It's an experience. It is. And when I tell you, I was so excited for bad news because all of this time so far, everything has been like normal. Everything is good. So I'm like, I don't care how bad it is. I want bad news because bad news is good news for me at this point. When I got the results back, which was like 2 weeks later, I almost broke my neck running down the stairs because I was so excited to see what the issues were. I'll read from my laptop. This is exactly what was going on. Goes over lots and lots of categories. I'll put it over here on the screen because there's so many, but it's a very interesting test. But here is what I found out, word for word, okay? The biggest thing was a parasitic infection. My specific parasite is Blastocitis hominis, and Sisley believes that is the root cause of all of my issues and mainly my acne. I also have a strep infection, which I'm not surprised because in high school I was getting reoccurring strep throat so often I had to get nose surgery. So whatever was left has just been sitting in my gut for who knows how long. I also have Fusobacterium bacteria, which is often linked to autoimmune conditions and Lyme, which I think is very interesting. And it's also linked to dental work. I've had 2 failed root canals. I'm actually missing a tooth. I've had just a lot of teeth issues, and however that gets trapped in the gut, it did. So I wasn't surprised there either. My good gut bacteria is in good shape. I have no candida, H. pylori, or pathogens, which are the bad stuff. My immune function is very low, which I was kind of surprised about because ever since I had my nose surgery, I haven't gotten sick, really. Maybe like once, but it wasn't anything bad. And then I'm digesting fat and protein well. So for what I have going on in there, it's not that bad. I mean, the parasite's annoying, but it's not that bad. So it could be way worse. So I met with Sisley. We went over all of these results. She really went into detail with it. And it's so helpful because I didn't know anything, obviously. It's so foreign to me. And it's just so interesting. It all makes sense. So from here, we go into healing myself and healing all of these issues, and that's where my parasite cleanse comes in. So when I used to think about a parasite cleanse, I thought it was this like complicated, crazy thing that you have to go through that's like really hard and really disrupts your life and all of that, but honestly, it's not that complicated. It's quite simple. So for my protocol, again, this is specifically for me, this is a 5-month protocol. 2 months is for removing the parasites, and then 3 months after, which is what I'm going to be starting next, is rebuilding my gut and immune system, because when you're getting rid of the parasites, you are disrupting your gut microbiome. You're kind of, stirring shit up in there. So that's kind of how my process is looking. And to remove these parasites, you have to take something to get rid of them. I think some people think I'm just taking a random vitamin to get rid of them, but it's an actual pill that gets rid of them. It's just not an antibiotic. It's just more of like a holistic ingredient and a holistic product. I take Biocidin Remove. Another brand I heard a lot of good things about is Cellcore. So the process is to take Biocidin every day for 4 weeks. We stop for a week, and then we hit it harder for another 4 weeks. This sounds so silly every time I say it, but parasites are very smart. They know how to hide, they know how to defend themselves, so you have to trick them during the process. So that's why we take a week off, because we're essentially tricking them into thinking, okay, we're done. We're not going to take this parasite remover anymore, but then we hit them harder so that they want to leave. You can also experience some type of parasite detox symptoms, which I never did because Sisley set me up so well. I was expecting some crazy things because I've heard electric shock, people have flu symptoms for a month, crazy nausea, headaches, but it was very, very easy for me, thankfully. And you get those symptoms because when you take the pills, the parasites let off toxic gas, like they're defending themselves. So, and then your body can react to that. But I have this theory that my parasites didn't even want to be in there. They just really wanted to get out, and they were waiting for some help to move out. That's just my theory. Along with the parasite removal pill, I'm also doing a bunch of other things to support my gut throughout this process, my imbalances, my bacteria issues, and just things that really, the specific needs that need to be met. Other things I don't have to do, but it helps support the detox process. Things like infrared sauna, Epsom baths, and rest. Resting is very, very important. I have a hard time doing that, but I've been trying. One of my favorite things that now is part of my routine every single night is using a Manuka honey face mask. It has helped my skin so much. Love it. Chef's kiss. Now for food, make sure to subscribe because my next video is going to be a day on my plate, what I eat during my parasite cleanse. But to sum it up, mainly no sugar, and we're avoiding processed foods, refined sugar and grains, and dairy products. Parasites love to feed off sugar, and they love to feed off the fake stuff. Specifically, my parasite loves to feed off of those like fast food restaurant oils, like I think seed oils, like the fake oils, canola and all that stuff, which I think is very interesting. You just kind of want to avoid those. You just really want to focus on whole foods, really. And what you put in is what you get out. I was stressed at first because I felt like I was like restricting almost, because I didn't want to, make sure I didn't have this or have that, or I feel like I didn't have enough different types of foods to eat. But once you kind of let that mindset go and kind of just try your best, and if you want a piece of chocolate, a drink here and there, like it's okay. Just make healthy choices and then get back onto your routine the next day. So I think that has been really, really great. Also, no alcohol or caffeine. Wasn't too big of an issue for me. I did have some alcohol, but caffeine, I don't drink caffeine, so that was fine. And the foods I'm eating, again, are whole foods, but also things that are really good for your liver, because your liver is like a filter. That's what really helps detox your body. So lots of garlic, ginger, cilantro, arugula, low sugar fruit like berries, apples, cranberries, pomegranate, cooking with coconut oil, lots of lemon. Lots of lemon. Eating raw Manuka honey, papaya seeds. It's a lot of really good stuff for your body. And as a sugar addict, as a fast food addict, it hasn't been that hard. at all, to be honest. I never really got any cravings. And like once you get used to eating this way, you feel amazing. Like you feel so good that you want to continue eating this way. And then you'll have something bad and you're like, doesn't taste that great. And honestly, I feel like my taste buds have changed because I got Dairy Queen for the first time. What was it, last week? And it didn't do it for me. Don't get me wrong, I love ice cream, but it wasn't how it used to be. So I feel like this cleanse has not only obviously helped all of my symptoms of my acne, but I look at food so differently. I look at what I put into my body, the choices that I make. This is a whole new lifestyle for me. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love me a Red Bull, like Diet Coke. I love me like a good fast food burger, but that's every once in a while now. You know, it's not every week. And I just make so many more healthy choices. I don't know. It's like a whole lifestyle switch, and I will obviously continue to do these things for the rest of my life. Like I said, it seems like a lot, but it's really not that complicated. I was ready to vlog every single day of my cleanse, like all these crazy things happening, but no, pretty straightforward and pretty simple. So now we'll get into the pricing and the process. How do you do this? How does one go about doing this? So like I said, I'm working with Sisley. She is a registered holistic nutritionist of 10 years and has training in functional lab testing. All links, discount codes, all of that will be down below. If you want to go down this holistic route, I do recommend working with someone. Of course, I highly recommend Sisley, but doing this on your own may not be smart. It's okay to ask for help, but obviously I recommend Sisley. But definitely work with someone because chances are you might not have parasites at all. This might not be your root issue at all, and actually blindly doing a parasite cleanse can make your acne way worse. So keep that in mind. So she has a few packages. Again, this is all on her website. So she has the Acne Protocol, which is $247. It is like the foundation you need to get started. There are various ebooks and guides, helps guide to clearing your acne, recipe books, supplement breakdown, etc. Those are so helpful. The recipes, insane. And then if you want a one-on-one call, you can add those on for $197, or there's a package for $444 that includes the call and the protocol. With this, you do get to find out your root cause, you get to review your health history and recommendations moving forward. She also has a VIP program that is $649 a month. It includes a call every 2 weeks, unlimited messaging, and support throughout the program. She only has a few spots every month, so it's not something she usually promotes, but if you're interested, definitely send her a DM. With all of this, testing is not included because we don't know what you'll need. The main testing she does is GI map and myotox. The GI map in the US is $450, and the myotox test is $350 USD. But depending on your country, maybe more, maybe less. And she can work with anybody around the world. Again, yeah, testing completely depends on the individual, but the ones she uses most often are GI map and myotox, and then basic blood work. She doesn't usually work with Dutch, but if you already have it done, she can obviously look at the results, or if you're very keen on doing it, it can be something she will consider. Now, for what I paid, let me tell you. So full transparency, Sisley was kind enough to give me her services for free, like the call and the ebooks and guides. So that would have been $444. And then the GI map was $450. And then for my supplements, just for my parasite cleanse, were $275. And I've only had to repurchase, I think, 2 things. So if I would have had to pay for the call and all of that, I've spent roughly around $1,200. I think it's more though, because I've done other supplements too with her, and then she also recommends everything and I just buy everything. So it's probably more than that, but I think that's a really good baseline. And if I'm being completely honest, I feel like that is a beautiful price. That is a deal compared to what you will pay somewhere else or a business. But it's good, good to know the price. You may pay more, you may pay less, but it's around there. Oh, and I just wanted to mention that this is not a collab between me and Sisley. She never once asked me to post in exchange for the free help. I also wasn't expecting a code of any sort. She was just really trying to help me, which I think is so sweet. So this is not like an ad or anything like that. But if you do want a discount, you can use my code. If you're looking to get your hormones or just comprehensive blood work done, I got mine done through Joy Women's Wellness, and my code gets you 50% off all of the labs. It comes with a follow-up appointment as well, which is really, really nice. So you guys have asked me so many questions along the way, so I'm going to go through a bunch really quick. How did the parasites leave, and how do you know you got them out? So they come out in the toilet. Fortunately, but unfortunately for me, my parasite is microscopic, so I won't see it in the toilet, but you'll know when they come out. Like, I feel amazing, and then obviously my acne is going away, so your symptoms will disappear, or you can pay to get tested again to really confirm what's going on. How do you think you got your parasites? Pretty sure it was Mexico. I've been to Mexico countless times, so at first I was like, who the heck knows? But I was connecting the dots with my mom because she also has horrible gut issues. Like, hers are way worse. She can't eat a thing. And it just so happened around when I was like 14, I think I was like 14 when I went to Mexico, maybe a little before that, she in Mexico got horrific food poisoning and wasn't able to eat gluten after that. And then it's just been like worse and worse. So we think we both picked up something. We both have different parasites because she got a GI map as well. So we think Mexico. And I'm going to Mexico for a bachelorette later in the year. And I was like, Sisley, I'm like, girl, I'm like, I was like, you gotta prep me to make sure this doesn't happen again. So she like sent me a whole protocol, really nice. So I feel better about that. Have I felt bad from the detox? I think I mentioned this earlier. No. The only like symptom I noticed was that when I first started doing it, I had no appetite, which was honestly great. I'm like, this is good because I'm starving these suckers. I didn't like have any cravings, so it was great. And again, I'm taking a binder at night and really, really helps with the detox process. Could I do this in college working a job? For sure, for sure. Again, this is not some crazy, huge life change. You can do it. You definitely need to have some discipline and make sure you're on top of it, but for sure, 100%. Can you just buy the GI map? No, unfortunately. At first I was like, that's so annoying and inconvenient, but it makes sense because you have to work with someone to do it, because how are you going to read the results? How are you going to know the next steps? So it's really important to do so. A GI map is a medical test. Like, it's not some like woo-woo test. It's like an actual medical test, but your doctor, your normal GP probably isn't going to offer it to you. Your gastroenterologist probably won't. So you probably have to go with someone more holistic, but you never know. It's always worth a try. What happens after the parasite cleanse? So this is what I'll be starting in the next couple of days. I'm rebuilding my immune system and my gut, and I just have a few new supplements. I'll get to reintroduce all of my favorite foods. Like, I'm so excited to reintroduce rice and sourdough. Dairy, I'm just so pumped. So I'll be able to now have all of my favorite foods again, because at the end of the day, you should be able to eat everything. You shouldn't have an issue with anything you're eating, so healing your gut is really, really gonna help. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much are things improving, and main thing you've noticed? Right now, I would say about an 8. An 8 right now. I think I still have a ways to go, but obviously my skin is looking amazing. My fatigue and my brain fog is gone, and I don't feel like crap. I feel like a whole new woman. Even working out, I'm like, this is like a whole new world. I don't think I even realized I felt so bad. It's just, it's crazy. Well, you need to be on this diet forever. I wouldn't consider this a diet. This is a healthy lifestyle. I'm not restricting anything moving forward. I'm going to be incorporating all my favorite foods again. I am just making healthier choices. That's really it. So I will be doing this lifestyle, for the rest of my life. Can this actually get rid of your acne? Yes. If you're targeting your root cause, you are going to solve your issues. It's so crazy. I've only been on this journey for 2 months and my skin has never looked better. And I've been fighting and using these band-aid methods for 14 years, and it's like this battle. But like, once you really attack and figure out that root cause, like, you can heal pretty dang quick. It's insane. If you have any more questions for me, let me know below. I'll be more than happy to answer them. It is giveaway time. It is giveaway time. So there's going to be 2 winners, okay? And each person is going to win the Acne Protocol from Sisley and comprehensive testing from Joy. It's going to be 2 of you. So you can really get started on your journey. This is what you need to do to enter. You're going to subscribe to my YouTube, and then you're going to follow me on Instagram and Sisley on Instagram. And then below, comment why you think this will be incredible for you, your acne journey. I want to know. And I will pick 2 of you to win, and I will put the details, entry dates, all of that fun stuff again below. Then last but certainly not least, a while ago now, I had you guys on my Instagram name my Parasite. I think it was like a $15 or $20 Amazon gift card, and my favorite, I know a lot of people really good ones like Pedro the Parasite because, you know, I got it in Mexico, but my favorite has to be Godzilla. And I know who you are. If you won, I will be contacting you. Yeah, I just thought that one was hilarious. But yeah, that is everything. I think if I miss anything, please feel free to comment below, DM me. You can find me anywhere. I would love if you would subscribe to my YouTube, or if you want to follow me on my other socials, I would highly appreciate it. I really hope this helped, and I want you to know that there are more options for you. Sometimes you just have to open your mind and trust your gut.